I'm gonna do a video on a tag relocation. It's pretty easy and simple process. You got everything you need already on the bike pretty much besides the light. I'll go over that too, and I'm gonna cover a few other things in this video as well. This right here is a 2014 Gsxr. I just got it. It's got 1 mile on it. I'm starting to take some things off of it. You know, I've already took the front reflectors off, and right now I'm working on the tag relocation. There's absolutely no need to go buy a tag relocating bracket or whatever. You've got one on the bike already. This was a simple process. I'm going to show you what to do real quick. So we'll start off. Here's the rear tag fender bull crap. You got 4 10mm screws that hold it on underneath the bike right here. So take those out. You'll have your wire coming out for your tag light. I cut it actually pretty short. This has no value to me whatsoever. It's going in the garbage. So I cut it short. This right here, done with. What it is factory is you have this bracket right here already mounted on your factory tag bracket. Unbolt this and take it off. Now, factory, these tabs are on the sides. I cut them off. And I cut this one off at an angle just to make it look a little better, and I've already painted it black. You can cut it straight. If you don't have means to cut it off, you can easily take and fold these things under and just press them into the back just to get them out of the way, because they will be in the way. You can't leave them on there. They will be in the way for what we're doing. All right, next step. I already have my rear seat off. That's easy. You got a key here. To take the front seat off, something else I'm going to cover in here in case you don't know. Sorry about that. Thought I heard somebody pull up. You have these covers right here. The carbon fiber covers on the bike. All they do is I took my finger, stuck it underneath the front. This little tab sticking up just goes up underneath the plastic piece that's butted up against the tank. So I took my finger underneath, pop that down. Then the Velcro, you have Velcro here. It really wasn't even hardly holding nothing on. But, you know, just pull it off of the Velcro. You have a tab right here that pops in that little grommet. So, you know, like I said, all you do is pop that down, pull that out, and just sort of I just ran my other finger down along the back in between the tank and the cover. And then I just pulled that towards me and it popped right off. Once that gets off, you have a bolt on each side. It's an Allen wrench. You take this one out over here and the one on the other side, this seat lifts right off. Very easy and simple. You got a cover on each side. That bolt is underneath on each side. Very easy. That's how you get the seat off. Now, you then have, this bracket will be in there. You then have underneath here, you will have a Phillips head or 10mm, whichever one you want to use to get that out. It's pretty close to the tire hugger here, so I just use a 10mm. Take that out. Then up here up top, you'll have 4 10mm. Take those out so you can get this bracket out. We need this out of the way. That blue stuff is Loctite. Now, and I'll show you why you got to cut those brackets off. This is the bracket, the factory bracket that I took off of the rear fender. This bracket will go perfectly right here. All right. You see, if you leave those tabs on, you'll actually hit your frame. So that's why you either got to fold them back or just cut them off. Cut them off is definitely the best route to go. If you don't have means to do it, maybe try to find somebody that can do it for you, but just cut them off. Like I said, I'd cut mine at an angle. It cleaned it up a little bit better. All right, so I held it up here, and then I just, of course, marked my holes. I used a 1/4 inch drill bit, and I put this bracket up here and pushed it up as high as I could to make my holes. Because you got that crest right here, you don't want to cut into that crest. You want to be above it. You can see where, you know, how far mine are above that crest. Now, you have an area right here underneath the plastics. That is where the plastic is actually injected to make this mold. I'm into plastics for a living, I know that. That area is generally soft on any plastics. So if you happen to see that on something, it's generally soft. I literally took my drill bit and by hand, it took a few turns, but I was actually able to get that up through there to make my hole. No problem. If you can do it, same way with these. If you happen to have a soldering iron, you can heat it up and basically just push it through there, like just melt through it. It's very thin plastic. You can melt through it. You can do the same here. You could probably even take a drill bit and heat it up and get that to push through. You know, just, I wouldn't try to just jack it up too bad. I mean, you know, these are nice bikes. There's no need to jack up any bike, theoretically speaking. But once you make those holes, that's where you're going to mount that plate. That hole there is going to be used to run my wires through for my tag light. Now, if you buy these brackets, there are brackets just like this on eBay for $40. Just like this. You can spend $40 on a bracket. You still won't have a tag light or anything. So this is not a free mod, but you're saving a lot of money because you already have a bracket on the bike that you can use. Now, I went to Advance. I picked up some LEDs. That's what I'm gonna use for my tag light. These were like $14. I got some butt connectors. You know, it's like two. I got $20 in this right here. It's costing me, I already had the screws, but if you have to buy these, you know, you're probably looking at maybe $2 or $3 for some screws and nuts for the bracket. If you had to buy these screws and nuts, you're probably looking at maybe $24 to relocate this tag. And that's a hell of a lot cheaper than having to buy this bracket too. You're adding another $40 on top of having to fixate some tag light or whatever. But, you know, whatever. So my tag wire, my original wire, it was going through that hole there, out through the bottom. I went ahead and pulled this up through here, and that's what I'm gonna use to tap into my LEDs. So what I'll do is, these LEDs, they have two-sided tape on the other side of them. So they're actually linked together inside. I'll actually cut them apart and use the wires. And I'll feed the wire up through there and tap it in to this. And then I'll just tuck everything down in there, you know, nice and neat to where it's not in the way, you're gonna get caught on anything or nothing. And once I mount my bracket, my tag, then I will take and I'll stick my light up here where it's best suited to shine over the tag instead of just lighting up this whole back area. I actually want to light up the tag. So you can do anything you want as far as the tag light goes, if you even care about a tag light. There are several different options you can get. I had some of these laying around. I picked this up from Radio Shack. They're about $2 for a pack of 2 of them. They have the little clips on them, so if you make a, you know, of course I'd have to make a larger hole, but these are self-sustained. They're fully sealed. They're flush, so you could actually even do something like this. You know, if you wanted to make that hole a little larger. Of course, I don't want to use blue on this bike, but you know, if you had a blue bike and you wanted a blue light, you could go buy some of these and, you know, just pop that up in the hole, and that would look pretty clean. So there are a few options as far as bulbs and lights go, but that's pretty much it. Now, one thing that I'm going to do is, these may look a little long. They're long for a reason. There is a pitch. You can see how there's a pitch on this. Now, if I mount this, if I go straight like that, it's going to put my tag at a hard angle. I actually want this bracket pretty straight. So what I'm going to do is, when I stick, sorry, I'm having to do this one-handed. When I put my bolts through here, I'm actually going to put a nut on here already. And then I'm going to put another nut, and then I'm going to stick it in to the plastic on the bike, and then put my other nut on the other side underneath that bracket. So I'm gonna have 3 nuts on each bolt. The reason that is I'm gonna use that second nut to actually adjust my pitch. So I'll just run that nut, you know, in and out to where I feel like this is on the correct angle that I want it to be at, and once it is, then I'll tighten it all up. So you can do that, or if you just wanted to go buy some elbow brackets from Lowe's or something, or you know, it's like some hardware brackets, you can actually mount those here and then mount this bracket to it, you know, if you want to change your pitch that way. But this right here to me is a lot more simpler, and like I said, that way I can completely adjust the angle that this is going to be at for my tag, because I do want my tag, you know, in correspondence with the bike, but I want it to be seen as well. So, you know, I'm gonna just use that to do it that way. So there's that modification. Like I said, you got everything you pretty much need on the bike to move that tag. If you don't care about having a bulb on the tag, a tag light, you can pretty much do this modification without spending any money whatsoever, because you got everything you need already. So there's that. I hope it'll save somebody some money, you know, and not go buy a tag bracket for no reason. There, you know, there are some nice ones out there if somebody wants to do a little bit more legitimate way. There are some that actually bolt to this area. They're pre-cut to actually fit that area. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run my bolts back up in here. They're black, so I'm just going to run them back up in here so it'll get rid of, you know, any holes you might see, or you know, whatever. So I'm going to actually stick those back up in there. That's what I'm going to do about that. My tag will be back here, so that'll look pretty good. One other thing on these, there's the tag. Whenever getting the seat off, in case you do not know, these pegs, the mounts, they're actually adjustable. You have 3 settings to where you can adjust these pegs. Factory, to me, they're kind of high. There's a hard angle here for the shifter. I don't like that. I like to have my foot a little more horizontal than more, you know, vertical. So you've actually got some holes. You can see them here. There's one, and then there's one right there. So you take out these bolts here, and you can actually slide it down. You can use that one to angle it back, you know, to move this back a little more, to give you some more room in between the shifter and the peg. And, you know, there's some adjustment there, and both sides can actually move. So, you know, you can move these around. Personally, I'm going to move this down, and I may actually kick it back. I'm going to see how it feels, just move straight down. But you do have some adjustment there in case you didn't know. So there's a few things that might help somebody out. Definitely save you some money on relocating that tag. And, you know, I'm going to do a few more things. That's all I'm doing now. I hadn't even ridden the bike yet. Like I said, it's got 1 mile on it. I want to get all this stuff taken care of first. A few other things that I'm going to do. Well, I've already taken my reflectors off the front. I've got to remove that tab. And I'm actually going to change out all my bulbs for the signals to white bulbs. Help clean it up a little bit, you know, just make it look a little more sleek. I may tint these just a little bit as well. And I'm actually going to get rid of this tire hugger and this chain guard. To me, I just don't like them. I think it just looks cleaner when all this right here is just opened up. So I'm going to get rid of those, and I'm definitely going to get these stickers off of here. That's got to go. And, you know, that's about it for the moment. So here it is, a 2014 Gsxr 750. And I hope I help somebody out. Have a good day.